We'll just wait for a couple more minutes and then get started.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh.
Hi, this is Wei Wei.
Hi, Wei.
Hey, Anu.
He's coming. Oh. So I guess we can get started. In the room here, I have Shaoling, Hua, Kirk, Firat, and Trevor. And on the call, we have Diana, Elizabeth, Huni, Jeff, Nansu, Stephen, Todd, Wei, and Yuling. Did I miss somebody? Okay, so if not, then we just move forward. So on the agenda today, we just talk about some of the updates on the action items, and we will also talk a little bit about the features that we want for DataMed. There are a couple of questions there that I think we should decide on. And then maybe we could discuss briefly with regard to a paper about DataMed for the JNIA special issue. And if there are any other updates from the other team members, we can talk about that as well. So for action items, one of the ongoing items is the complete reindexing with the updated NLP pipeline. Jeff, do you have any updates? What happened? Hello?
Hello?
Nobody's telling us.
That's weird.
What happened?
It says it's recording, we are talking. Hello?
Hey, this is Jeff. Sorry, I couldn't.
Hey, Jeff.
The online audio kicked me out, so I had to switch to my phone.
Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with.
Anyone else on the line? Can anyone else hear us?
And tried like for 20 seconds to get in on the online. Said there was an issue. There was a problem. So.
So I know when I logged in, I was able to talk to Wei and Huni. Can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So Jeff, are there any updates for the?
Yeah, I mean, Barack's been, again, as I said last week, he's been running some of the tests. I've been on flights yesterday and today, so I'm going to piece that together from what he sent me. So I'll have a much better update next week. But he's run 3 different sources through, and I think he's already forwarded you one source, right?
Yes, I got one.
Yeah. So you just check out that if that looks like it's operating correctly on that source, and then we should be pretty close, to running it at full scale. So, and he hasn't seen any errors come up yet, in terms of the memory leak, but we have noticed it might be a little slower than the last version. But I mean, when he's done running some of the larger sources, we'll have a better idea of that.
And also, I saw the new index of Brock sent me that he doesn't include the terminology server in the output. So do we?
Well, I mean, he's turning it on and off depending on the source right now, because we're not doing the full reindex. So I think import he had it turned on, right?
Yes. That would be
and I think
too.
I think he ran it on Mouse Phenome database,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not sure if he sent you the one with the NLP or not. I don't know which one he uploaded there.
Okay. Yeah, so if he turn on the terminology server, so this will also add some time on the processing.
Yes, yeah.
So since we're talking about this, maybe we also want to talk a little bit about the UniProt, which is really big, the Tremble, right?
Tremble, yeah.
So we haven't really updated the UI.
Actually,
Right.
I haven't downloaded it from the UCSD endpoint because it's like only the data is 60 gigabytes.
Right. So we do want to maybe talk about how we'll go about doing that, because that's really the largest that we have.
Yeah, and that's the because we have the UniPro, that's the manually created one, and then Tremble is the Swiss Pro, and then Tremble is the automatic.
But Tremble is
curation.
really big, right, Jeff?
Tremble is also pretty big, but not as big as Swiss Pro is big, but not as big as Tremble. Yeah.
Right. So do we need to download it, or is it going to be hard? Do we have?
Yeah, I haven't tried. I'm not sure if our server can handle that. And if we add that to the backend, will it affect the search performance? I'm not sure. Yeah. It's only that one is bigger than all of the others add up.
So that's something I think maybe we want to look into a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we can add it on in the development space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look at it there.
Yeah. Okay.
So also for the data type ontology, we had a meeting last Thursday, right? And it was actually a pretty good discussion. So Philip and Alejandra will be working with generating hopefully as soon data type for us to incorporate into DataMed, and this should be a much better ontology than what we have currently. In terms of schema.org annotations, Firat is still working on it.
Yes, we are still working on it, but I think we need some valid field list for the schema.org that we can use. Because now we have some extra fields in our schema.org files in the Google repository. So if you have a link or some source for that, I think we need it.
Well, I mean, it's all on schema.org, right? What they currently have.
The list of fields?
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't find a list of fields there. Do you have a specific URL for that?
Yeah. Yeah, let me take a look.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think that's it. I think last time Alejandra said that she would try and send us something, but maybe that slipped a little bit. So we can remind her again as well. Also for the CDE workshop on May 9th, George wanted to have a demo of DataMed where we would be able to demonstrate searching of dimensions, and I know that Shaolin has been working on it, and we've had some discussion in terms of the way the search should function. So Jeff, do you think the way the logic is currently is okay? Because I know that there seems to be a difference of opinion between you and George.
I mean, the logic. I mean, it's sort of. I don't know if there is a logic to quotes. Like, they should act like parentheses or not. So either is fine. I think we just need to settle on one, right?
Yeah, I changed
because before it was inconsistent, right?
Yeah, so I changed the function and also update the help. So in the help we specified how our advanced search function should work.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as long as it's consistent, and I don't think I lean either way. But we can get feedback from George and others. That's the right way that I wouldn't ask myself because
okay.
I have a heavy math background, so I might be influenced by that rather than So I'd ask George and perhaps some of the others who are testing. So.
Okay.
And I just pasted in the chat the data set page.
Okay.
At schema.org. So that's where to get started. There's you can add attribute value pairs as well, and so that's where we can put in some of the extended attributes. And that's what Alejandra was talking about. So.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Jeff. So maybe there's a place we can meet.
And I have about 15 minutes, and then I have to chase down another airplane.
Fun stuff. Okay. The other thing is also what Twa suggested was to, build an NLP pipeline that can extract entities from dimensions for advanced search, because we are going to be looking at fairly detailed information there. And he suggested maybe leveraging the work that Huni and team have done with dbGaP. So Huni, I think we will probably get in touch with you, before we start working on this.
Okay. Right.
And in terms of documentation, as I mentioned earlier, Firat is testing out all code, and so the next step right now he's working with the UI part, but the next step after he's done with that, it would be to actually go back and see if he can do the ingestion and indexing pipeline by himself without input from anybody, just based on the code and the documentation that's available. So Jeff, do you think, could you just give us maybe a time frame by when we could expect that to be available?
Sorry, you got a little out to expect what to be available?
Just the documentation for Burak's code for ingestion.
Oh, I mean, we have it's on GitHub. We have to take another pass at it.
Right.
But I think all of it's in GitHub right now, I think. So I can double check with him. Except for the presentation, we haven't loaded there, so that we have to figure out how to incorporate the presentation that we've used in the past
Relaying generated, yeah, right.
Relaying generated, that's right, yeah.
Okay. So maybe if you could take another pass and see if it's detailed enough for somebody who has no idea about the code details to be able to do it, that would be great. So for the JMIA, I just want to talk about the paper. So for the JMIA paper, this just an FYI for everybody. I think most people know right now that there's going to be a special issue in JMIA, which is going to be about big data and data discovery. And so this due date is the 15th of May. And what we were thinking of is to maybe have a comprehensive DataMed paper for this JMIA issue. So Jeff, you were also planning on something in addition to the DataMed paper, right? But you're okay with writing DataMed paper as well, right?
Yeah. We hadn't targeted the JMIA issue anyway for the more technical one, so that's fine. Yeah.
Because I think if we do the DataMed paper, then I don't know that we'll have sufficient data for another paper, or we probably can't split up the components at least in terms of what we developed here. So I think this will be the paper for us. Also to look at the features that we want to have in the next version of DataMed. I thought I opened that somewhere. Maybe that was just me. So one of the questions that I wanted to have here, I think we are working on most of the things that we have listed out here, but we also want to maybe have an idea of how many repositories we want to target for before the end of, let's say July. So Jeff, what do you think is Jeff and Huni, what do you think is a fairly achievable number?
I mean, it gets to sort of a point Ian made. How much are we working on like the documentation and whatever else we have to prepare, for finalizing it versus, bringing in new data sets, because, we only have a certain number of personnel, so it's. I mean, that's the main thing I can see is that, we're going to be doing a lot of documentation and, fixes near the end, to get it sort of wrapped up. So I would try to keep it to, potentially just high value targets.
So that would be the ones that are basically what are the common fund repositories, right? Which is what we are now working on.
Right.
So I just redid this spreadsheet, which just to show what were the common fund repositories, what are the mods, and which of them we already have. And also, I mean, this is something that Ian had been asking for, just a listing of all the data site repositories that we are pulling in. So basically what you're saying, Jeff, is that we target the mods and the common fund repositories first, and then look into the others if we have time.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what, what NIH would want to see anyway.
Okay. So since we're talking about ingestion, I also want to just talk a little bit about the transformation review. So we've just had Shun look through in GitHub and in DataMed what are the repositories that we currently have and who's been working on it. So we have, I think, more or less a complete picture now, and I will go back and try and assign to the different teams and make sure that there are no overlaps. So we have review. But the only question that I have is, should they look at the field names here in this spreadsheet, or should we be looking at the field names from somewhere else? Because I was talking to Xiaoling, and I guess one of the things that was decided would be convention was to have the beginning of each field name not start with an uppercase. And
right, I think the field, most of them are, I mean, they should be like, I mean, unless there's a field in here that, was inconsistent with that from the when someone added it. I mean, the only one that isn't like that is ID because, well, small I, big D sort of looks funny, but.
So for the rest of them, the field name will start with a lowercase, right?
Yeah. Well, that's sort of the convention we adopted, and so I think most of them should be like that.
Okay, and this is where we would get the DATS version 2.2. So are we going to be looking at that from now onwards? We would be mapping to version 2.2. Because
well, the 2.2 basically added the geo field, so I don't know. That might apply more to the clinical trials data where we do have some place information.
Mm-hmm. I think geo clinical trials are the only two that have maybe place information, right? Geography location.
I'm not sure if dbGaP has that.
So Huni, do you know if dbGaP also has it?
dbGaP has what? I missed your question.
So does dbGaP have like location information?
Not as a separate structured field, but in the general study description, they have the location-related information, which is mostly about the organization where the study was done.
Oh, okay.
But I don't believe that's separate structured data field.
I see.
Yeah, I remember just manually parsing all the description field.
So that means we're still working with version 2.1. So then, just to make things the same, probably it can we have the same, like the names of the fields being identical between what we are mapping and what we have here?
Okay. You're talking about. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. Because we didn't actually put the field name there. We did the data type there.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could put the field name under it. Like.
Okay. Oh, this comes from your database.
No, but I don't like there are no. I don't think there are any spaces like primary publication. It's not 2 capital P's in a space. Right.
Yeah.
So these are the DATS types. We didn't. Yeah. So there's. Yeah. So the field names are actual field names on the right, and then on the left it's actually just the types. It's not the way that the field name is. So we need to under the primary publication, we'd have to put the field name there.
Okay.
Oh, I can insert.
And the same with citation and yeah.
How about just insert a new column and put in all the view names? Sorry, the field names.
Can you repeat that? I didn't get it.
I can also insert a column next to the first column and list all the view name of the field names.
Well, that works too. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, maybe that would be convenient because when they're entering stuff in here, it would be easy for them to see that the mapping is done correctly also. Just a way to double check.
Okie dokie, will do.
Thank you. So I think that's it, right? Okay. Is there anything else that we should talk about? So Jeff said he's okay with the JNA paper.
He showed the email too. Sorry, Jeff, I just walked out. There's another phone call.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I have to catch a plane in a few minutes. So.
Oh, okay. So it's good we finished early then. Yeah, basically for the paper, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm asking Xiaoling to help drafting it. But I think for the ingestion part, maybe you or someone will contribute some text for that part. And I'm thinking about, you and me maybe as corresponding also.
Yeah, I mean, Barak's already been putting together some text too, so we can take some of the text we have and use it here, and then.
If you think you want to include Barak as call first, also that also can be arranged, and we also need to talk to.
Oh yeah, no, that would be good. That would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Because basically we share all the credit, and we talked to Lucila, and she's okay. I don't know if you want to her as a, I don't know, but I think she probably is not. It should be fine with not being contacted also. And because it's mainly focused on CDT work, then all other people we're going to include as co-authors, I think, in the team.
Okay.
And there's actually, just for your information, we also talk about maybe another paper for the same issue, which is about the usability stuff. So, but that's I'm not leading it. Todd and the director is leading it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's I mean we weren't for some of for the detailed sort of the very technical description of the pipeline. I mean, that we wouldn't be targeting JMIA anyway.
That's my feeling. So, you guys, for the whole ingestion pipeline, maybe you can write more detailed paper on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so are you going to spin up a Google Doc and share with everybody, or how do you want to?
Yeah, once we have
so you can put it into Google Doc. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff, do you have the finalized? Did you send the finalized version of the video, so we can put up a link on BioCaddy and DataMed?
Yeah, I thought that was the last one I sent.
Okay.
I can go back, but I think the last one that we had was the final one because we didn't get any more feedback.
Okay. Besides that, I think that's it, unless there's something somebody else wants to talk about. Oh, just an FYI, we had a meeting with one of the challenge subcontractors already, and another one is scheduled with UIUC folks this Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the subcontracts are going to start either end of April or beginning of May. So once that starts, then we'll have them present at the CDT.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
I think that's it.
Good. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.